Hey guys, happy Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't even know my days anymore, but it's almost Thanksgiving, and I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Got a major bombshell today. So let me just start with, I am here. I'm in this little tiny corner, but trust me, you guys don't want to see me right now, but I had to do this video. I have two of the most amazing subscribers ever that gave me the information for this video, and I will get to their names as we go. But I cannot thank them enough. One of them, the first one, is the major bombshell. Let me just tell you, I've researched this case. Most of my subscribers have researched this case. Everyone I know internally really has researched this case. From TikTok Manitowoc to Zellner to you name it, to all of us YouTubers, and honestly, nobody has caught this. So I owe this first half to She-Devil, who picked this up last night. I actually even removed it from my comment because I didn't want anyone else to take it before I did it, because as far as I know, this has never been noted. Maybe Zellner's using it, but she didn't let us know. Okay, so here we go. This is, again, Brendan's major bombshell, and without her, without She-Devil 76, this shit would have never been caught, honestly. So this is Brendan's interrogation. The first one. Couple of things that I did pick up from it that I kind of like second guess is, why was the jury so fucking stupid? Being that you have this confession that, I know I'm only playing a small part of it, but you have this confession, and some of it may be coerced, some of it may not be coerced. However, when you really listen to it, I don't understand how a jury could watch this or see this in either one of their trials and realize that this is not like the press conference. This is not the way the press conference went down. So where did Kratz get this stuff? Somebody had to make it up. I don't know why they couldn't put two and two together. Like in here, he's not saying anything that he went over to Avery's. This is showing that he saw her car in the garage. So I don't get how nobody put two and two together on a jury. Like out of 24 people, 12 and 12, not one person had common sense. Even if, and I'm going to go a step further, even if we find out that Brendan may have had something to do with it, or even, to be fair, even Steven had something to do with it, let's play devil's advocate. Let's say they did. And I'm going to toss it out there. I'm not going to say what I feel. I'm not going to say what I think yet. I do get into it towards the end of the video. Let me also state, I don't think either one of them actually killed anybody, and I don't think either one of them are involved with the murder at all. I am leaning towards something, though, and I'll explain after. But if you listen to this, I find it hard to believe that he made this up based on being coerced. And you'll see what I mean when I say it, when you hear it. So without further ado, let's play.
That it's a girl that he was kind of peed off at.
Did he say who it was?
Teresa Hallbach.
Why was he peed off at her?
I don't know.
I think he probably told you. So just be honest. We already know.
He's obviously not holding anything back from you. He had you come
Listen
over to see
very
you.
carefully. Very carefully.
We already
He
know.
used you for this. So bring us into the garage again. You mentioned earlier that's when he threatened you. Tell us that.
That he threatened me that if I would say anything that he would stab me like he did to her, and
Wait for it.
that
Wait for it.
that he was pissed off at her because of he wanted to get his blazer in the thing.
Did you guys hear that? Let me rewind that a couple seconds again, and I'll let you guys listen to it again.
That he was pissed off at her because of he wanted to get his blazer in the thing.
Stephen Avery didn't own a blazer, but guess who did? That's right, Bobby Dassey. This was huge, huge. All right, moving on. So I don't know how none of us caught it, but yeah, he talked about a blazer. Stephen didn't own a blazer, only Bobby did. And to add insult to injury, Bobby's blue blazer, as stated in my last video, he didn't buy that till after 2006. He had a black blazer, or a Ford Ranger, or whatever he had after 2006, the blue car, which comes down to, which I'm going to get into again, kind of reiterate, that's when Blaine lied, which comes up in a couple of slides up. Now, did Brendan replace Bobby with Stephen because they were questioning him about Stephen? I still don't get how in the fuck do you get two completely different stories and convict both? Only one can be factually right. You can't have two stories and convict both. Now, is Brendan so innocent? I'm starting to think that he knows more than what we think he knows up to date, and that's honest. And I don't want anyone to hate me for it, but it's really honest. And I think there's a lot of us that are going to owe Bernard Phillips a big apology. Now, I don't believe, again, that he was involved in the murder aspect of it. I don't think Brendan could be a murderer if he tried. So I don't think he's a murderer, but I do think he knows something. Now, shortly before execution in 1989, Ted Bundy stated, "Murder is not about lust, it's not about violence, it's about possession." We know that Scott Tadich is extremely possessive and extremely jealous individual. So that kind of ties into a lot too. Now, November 5th is Bobby interviewed for the first time regarding events that began on October 31st. Amongst various things that will change in later statements, the most important thing he said was after the photographer had finished photographing the van, he observed her walking towards the residence of Stephen Avery. Now, on November 23rd of 2005, when Eric Loy, Stephen's public defender at that time, before Beauty and Strength took over, and a colleague met with Bobby to interview him, there's an obvious difference. Now Bobby says when Bobby got out of the shower, he looked outside and saw Steve walking towards Steve's trailer. Now back to the November 5th, 2005 statement. I asked Mr. Dassey why Stephen Avery would say that Bobby was the last one to see the photographer. Bobby responded, "Did he say that?" I then asked Bobby if it was true, and his response was no. I asked Bobby why Stephen would say something like that, and Bobby's response was he'd stab you in the back. Bobby indicated that Stephen has done this to him before over little stuff. Okay, but Bobby, why would you change your statement? It doesn't make any sense. And it does make sense of why you would go after him, or why you'd, be the state's star witness. Now, Bobby's vehicle, the blue one, he didn't get until after 2006. Blaine signed this affidavit the day the Supreme Court decided not to hear Brendan's case. It says, on October 31st, 2005, when the school bus drive brought Brendan and me home. Now, there he states that Brendan and him were home. As we traveled west on STH 147, I saw Bobby on STH 147 in a bluish or greenish vehicle heading towards Mishicot. Bobby was not driving his black Blazer. Goes back to, why did Blaine lie to begin with? Does Blaine know more than everyone's letting on? Is everybody just lying about everything? Were they threatened? And why is everybody letting Brendan take the fall? No matter what it is, if Blaine's going to go to the police and tell him this much, or Brendan's going to say an interview about the Blazer, now I see why, all these little pieces of why Bobby's guilty is coming together. Now, as you guys know, I've been saying it's Bobby and Scott from day one, but now this kind of brings all the little pieces together. And yeah, I'm really excited about this because a lot of things that I knew just weren't making sense, or I was throwing things out there that I knew were right, but I couldn't prove it. And now I have all the proof. It's all coming together and it's awesome. Now, that's what I have on that and his bombshell. And I have a lot more to discuss on it, but I do have to take a shower and get ready. But I wanted to get that out there. So now my second subscriber, KIMBERKISS, she had forwarded me this. Now, could it be Bobby Dassey? Maybe. I want to say I believe 70% that it's probably not him. But you never know. I mean, if he's a killer, if he's a serial killer, like Brendan said, are you really going to beat someone to death because they wouldn't put your your blazer in a picture? Like, it was just very weird. But, when you think of Scott and you think of how possessive and abusive he is, one never knows. I mean, you watch that show on ID. I know most of you guys watch ID, but like if you watch ID, you'll see like the killer next door. Like people can seem so normal, just like the Green River killer. So this is what she got. So there's this woman that disappeared in 2006 named Deidre Harm. Deidre disappeared from Wisconsin Rapids. This guy, Christopher Rivak, was he was the one that was accused of killing her. But they didn't find out until like 2007 because he killed another girl whose body was never found in Wisconsin or Michigan, or he was like a serial killer or whatever. It looks like you're a guy next door. And what ended up happening was right after he got arrested, he ended up killing himself in prison. So they have him tied to like 4 other crimes. Now, the thing with Deidre Harm is they suspected 4 different suspects. One of them has a tribal tattoo on his arm. This guy does not have any tattoos. So they knew that it wasn't him, but they traced blood and stuff back to him that it might be him. Now, could this guy possibly even, have killed Teresa Halbach? Possibly. Who knows? Looks like the kid next door, but they have this kid pegged in 4 different murders. 3 of them are unsolved, and nobody will ever know because he killed himself. And that happened in June of 2006, where Deidre Harm went missing from a bar. Hunters found her remains in a field years later. Now, police say they do have more than one person of interest, and you guys can read that. You can look it up too online. So, as I said, Chris killed himself in prison shortly after his arrest. He did not have a tribal tattoo. This was the poster. She was 21 years old, 5'4", 138. Looks totally different than Teresa, but same build, I think Teresa was smaller, but same age, same build, same everything. So it's not like, she was 400 pounds and, Teresa was 125. 5'4", 138 is pretty similar. So just saying, just throwing it out there and not making anyone guilty. Now, Wisconsin Rapids is only 2 hours from Manitowoc. People go hunting from Manitowoc to Wisconsin Rapids all the time, every winter, and definitely go over the summer. So this is what I've been seeing when I was looking up different research. Okay, now Brendan was arrested on March 1st, 2006. Bobby's in the clear now. His brother's been arrested for this. Nobody's talking. Nobody's mentioned Bobby's name. So it's possible that he went to Wisconsin and, a different part of Wisconsin, and maybe he killed again. Who knows? So this is what it looks like. This is the unidentified male with this tribal tattoo on his arm. Now, hunting season for deer, which is what Bobby and Scott are always so damn proud of, with a gun, is November 17th to November 25th. We know that they hunt deer. There wasn't any kind of hunting during June when she actually disappeared. But that doesn't mean they didn't go, up to Wisconsin Rapids for the lake or whatever. I don't know what's up there, but you never know. Needless to say that this happened from, they found her bones in 2006, or a couple of months, not a couple of years, 2006 on 11/20. So any hunter is going to be up there for deer who shoots with a gun between November 17th and November 25th. Now, look a little closer. Here's a sketch and here's a tattoo. You can't tell me he doesn't look like him. Now, there are other pictures of this guy, of this sketch, that he looks older, But going on this picture with Bobby's picture and the tribal tattoo with the things going down, that's pretty interesting. Now, again, I'm not saying it's him. What I am saying is it's very, very interesting. And that is what I have for you today on Bobby. And that's what I was so excited to get you today on Bobby. Whoops. And before I close out, I just want to tell you guys, hope you guys enjoy my video. It's a lot of the stuff today I got from TikTok, Manitowoc, Reddit, a whole bunch of sources, and YouTube. But if you guys want links, let me know. I'm going to try to discuss it. I'm going to try to do a live tomorrow night. I'm going to see how much time I have because, you know, I got to cook for the fam. And make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check out my other videos. And definitely give a big thank you to She-Devil and KIMBERKISS for these awesome leads. All right, I hope you guys have a great day.